Welcome to Let's Unpack Your Why. This is a space to celebrate your authentic self and discover your purpose. I'm your host, Shayla Diamond, and today we are excited to have brothers Ola and Ayu joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and your journey so far?
Hi, it's an honor to be in this meeting and to share one of the things that we know. We came to Nigeria some very few years ago, half a decade, like 5 years, 5 to 6 years ago, and one of the very things we experienced was the culture shock and the social shock, and because we came from a place where of course, really family oriented and everything, we've been able to navigate more by staying with ourselves. Um, One of the things we really usually miss is being able to almost everybody outside is like your friend and you can almost socialize with everybody, but yeah, it's a bit everybody's just kind of a bit just to themselves and sometimes when you even try to say hi to your neighbor, they're trying to look at what's going on, who's this person? So and the journey has been a fine one and it has been a great one. Every lesson comes with its setbacks, some with setbacks, some with a blessing in disguise. And despite everything, we have been able to navigate, very, very well, very well. We keep learning.
When you said the culture shift and having to like adapt, I know Jersey people can be a little rude, and
Yes.
myself, I'm moving to Atlanta soon, and so my
Oh,
mom was telling me about how the culture is a little bit different. People are nicer down there apparently, so she said I
oh,
have to
okay.
like be a little more welcoming and everything. So
Yeah,
that's
no, okay.
interesting how you had to shift the opposite way. I see IU joined us.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Ola was telling us a little bit about your move from Nigeria to America and how you guys adapted. Do you want to share a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, yeah, just we came here, that was December 2020. Yeah, that was December 2020, and it's actually one for the books because we were supposed to come here, that was April of 2020, but then that was when the COVID shutdown happened. But I remember that it was 2 weeks just before we were set to travel that the lockdown happened, and then it was like, oh, okay. And nobody really knew how long it was going to last for. So I like, okay, okay, let's just see. But then from days to weeks, then to months. And then finally it's we actually applied painfully enough because the first visa they gave us, they said it was expired by the time the lockdown was lifted. So we had to apply again for a new visa, which they gave us. And then we came, that was December. Yeah, that was literally, we left Nigeria the midnight after Christmas. I still remember it was the midnight after Christmas. So yeah, so that's how it's been for us. So that was the journey for us.
That's nice. And you, Ola and yourself both talked about challenges, so like flights getting delayed and having to overcome that stuff. So what are some things that you told yourself to help you stay motivated and get through those tough times?
I'm just someone that always believes that God always works things out. Like no matter what's going on, no matter how things are looking, like I just have that faith and I have that belief system that God just always works things out for me. Like I said, when the lockdown, when we got the visa to come to the US, I was attending schooling. I was in college, as a then in Nigeria, and I was in my third year. So which just meant I had one more year to go. So it was actually a difficult moment then. Even when we finally came here in December 2020, like I said, then now I have to apply to schools over here. And then the whole transcript process, like trying to there's a way we have to convert my courses that I did over there and the grading system to fit the American system so that the schools can accept me and everything. At some point, I really did say, at some point, I felt like blaming my uncle, I felt like blaming my parents that, oh, if they had not taken me out of school, my mates in Nigeria had done now, I would have had my bachelor's. But at some point, but at the same time, I just still had the belief and I had to hope that God just to work it out for me. God will work it out for me. And with the glory of God, I actually finished from school last year. So, so
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much. Thank you.
that's great. What did you major in?
I majored in general studies over here, but my focus was on science, technology, engineering, maths. So that
Nice.
was the focus. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
there's always room to grow and learn in new positions and new places. Um, so I wanted to tie back into your position with caregiving as of right now and how you kind of manage that role because it is a heavy role. And Ola, feel free to chime in whenever. Um, so how do you manage like that position, especially in a management position now, and also your own challenges in your own life, like a work-life balance kind of?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, it's I'll say it's been interesting. It's been difficult. It's been fun. It's literally every emotion. It's literally every emotion, and that's one of the things that make this job. Should I use the word worth it? Sometimes people kind of try to say like, what's the meaning behind the job? Like, but I really think it's one of the hardest jobs to do because right now we're talking about dealing with human beings as human beings. Like in schools, you deal with them as students. In workplaces, you deal with them as colleagues. There is a limitation, but then in the kind of work where we do, we deal with them as everything. Just manage them, talk to them as people. Like, forget the whole should I say what forget or don't focus too much on the incident, the behavior they're exhibiting. Try and focus more on the person exhibiting the behavior. So I talk to the person. I don't talk to the behavior. I don't talk to whatever is going on. I talk to the person involved. So and I think that's one thing that's really helped me. And then you also mentioned that I've been balancing work and life. When I switched to this management position, it took a toll on me at first. I was like, I was spending long hours trying to fix everything. Then at one point, I just broke down. Like it was literally after a party we created for the individuals, and I just told my siblings, I'm like, I think I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back to just being a staff. And I told myself I have to this year. I just told myself I have to balance this out. I have to balance this out. Yes, I have to do my work, but at the same time, I still have to balance this out. So at the end of the day, I'm not weary, and so it's not like I don't feel the pressure anymore. So I'm working. I have work to do, but then I'm also at a place where I've actually done a lot. And so I'm telling myself, oh, I can't get too comfortable. I can't get complacent because when you sit back and relax, I feel like, oh, everything is going well now. I don't have anything to do. Then, one day everything will just pop out and you'll be like, oh, well, so I think that's my journey has literally been for me though.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, no
You
problem.
shared so much insight, and we're definitely going to unpack a little bit more. I want to
Okay.
get Ola's intro and everything. So, if Ola, you want to get back on and tell us how your experiences and what you've been through.
Um, I think I don't know if you're Christian, but it looks like more like a ministry of help, and it has to do with persons, people, and in understanding people, you have to understand, just like my brother was saying, um, people are just different. They, what A may do, B may not do it. And, I was thinking recently and I was like, one of the things that has helped me, especially in certain difficult times or, with them is, relationship, learning to build that trust, learning to build, um, understanding, learning to build, that gap, that bridge, and learning to see that they can trust you. It's going to be a bit difficult because they would also may need to transition through the initial stage of, getting to have them to trust you, getting to have them to being able to understand them because some can be nonverbal and everything. And in this field of mine, experienced a lot of the vastness and everything. For me, it's not I would not really say it can be a long term. It can be, I think for me, this is more like a ladder to other steps to, see how everything works, see how the system works, to see how, every area works. And I think one of these things is that the challenge that I face in this kind of job is that I used to tell people that most of the time people just see the caregivers as people that are nobody And most of the times also they see them as, I mean, not even just not even usually just the the people outside. Sometimes even, certain times have common sides. Certain times where I had managerial issues because I felt like, I was like a target, they were asking me this, and sometimes I felt like I was the one they used um to put certain things on, like, and I'm like, and I saw people doing worse and people doing, and I'm like, is it because I'm always, around available and maybe, focus my energy on trying to help them.
What really stood out to me was how you learned how to trust and open up to certain individuals and peers, even after being misunderstood, being, maybe taken advantage of in certain areas because you were just generous and giving. So how
Mhm.
did you kind of learn how to forgive and keep on giving your best, even though you were not trusted at first?
Um, thank God for God.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, you may not be believers, but we come from, uh, we are faith, we are Christians, we are believers, and to a very great extent, that helps us to navigate, every area of our lives. I mean, like, I remember coming and I was like, why, I'm just on my bed, praying to God, telling God that, why am I being targeted? And, it led me to kind of just withdraw a bit, like, let me, let me take it back a bit. Let me not be too around. Let me not be too available. If someone has not totally healed, it can almost be carried to another, even if you leave that stuff, can almost be that thoughts of, oh, when I was all that in that place, I was hot and everything. Oh, don't let me engage myself too much again. Let me just keep myself simple. Let me just, but still, with time, and with processes, God begins to bring to your mind that you don't judge everything from the place of hurt. Sometimes you just open up to Him and let Him heal. And then from there, this time around, more even, you trust in His wisdom and beyond zeal and energy that is being used to procure, the job. Then now you just trust more in His wisdom.
Yes. I think that was beautifully said. I dealt with something similar, like just being taken advantage of with the like my kindness being taken advantage of
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
weakness, I guess.
Hmm.
And I'm struggling now, so that's why I asked you, how do you overcome that? And I'm glad that you said your answer, because I turn to religion as well and to God because it gets overbearing and we can't do it alone.
Yes.
And like you said, no matter what your religion is, just knowing that there is a higher power and you can turn to that higher power and trust it to save you and to help you get over the obstacles because there's a lot in this life.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Definitely.
and then what I also wanted to say was, well, two more things. I feel like when you're not in the right environment, uh things start happening where, it starts off as a whisper, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be here, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't say this to that person. And then it gets louder and louder and louder. And then, a situation happens like, oh, that person was removed as my bo for my boss or whatever, where you're not supposed to be around that person. So that person gets removed from your life.
Hmm.
My own personal experience, I was in a car accident recently,
Okay. Okay.
and I just feel like,
Sorry about that.
oh yeah, that's fine. Well, thank you. But um like I feel like I was in a situation or in an environment where I shouldn't have been in that time.
Okay.
And I knew that, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And then the car accident happened, and I feel like that was the loud, like, stop, slow down, you know? So I took that and I listened, and I'm starting to do stuff that aligns more with me. I feel like I was getting out of alignment, and then that happened, and it smacked me right back into alignment. So I'm glad that you brought that up as well. And then the last thing was, God don't play about his babies, So when people are doing things behind the scenes, everything gets cleared out. especially if you're staying pure and you're staying, true to yourself. So I'm glad that you kept a pure heart no matter what was going on behind the scenes. And then you saw the people who are doing you wrong get their karma. And then you still stayed humble. So I think that's an important thing. I
Thank
struggle
you.
with that. I want to be laughing. I want to be like, okay, yes, thank you. But no, it's good to stay humble and just thank God that you're in a position that you're not suffering. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing that.
Thank you.
Perfect. So, do you feel like your purpose has changed? I know that you said that the culture you come from is very family oriented and loving and everything like that. I feel like you chose a profession that aligns with that. Nurturing others, caring for people there. You said that your individuals are like your family to you. So, do you feel like your purpose has changed anyway since you came to America and started the caregiving position?
I would not say my position has changed ever since. I would say it still aligns. We lost our dad like a few years ago. Trying to move here. He also set that very example for us, and the my parents and our parents imbibed that culture of not number one, not looking down on people. Number two, on serving and loving, because my dad to a point was really, really sacrificial. He could go out for anybody, to put himself there for and everybody and everybody. So it was still the same um lesson that they have imbibed in us, that they have, imbibed in us. That's what we have also taken, cultivated, just like if we are not working, if we are not um on the field, we love to spend time with family. We love to, at this point we are all we got. And I think sometimes losing one person in the family, as a way, the number one, you appreciate life better, you see life better. And you know, you try to lessen frictions of fights or, because you are all what you've got now. Even if you offend each other, know that you just quickly come out of life is too short to start putting, to start fighting, to start keeping malice, to try start doing. So we are, from a very, we believe so strongly in family. Life is about service. We are all going to be remembered for not the titles that we hold, but how we indeed influence people, the the very impact we have on people's life. That's all what we are going to be remembered for.
I feel like that's the purpose of this podcast, like giving people the opportunity and the tools to understand, like discover their purpose as well, sharing our stories. Um, so thank you both for sharing your story. I do have one more question for both of you to answer. So I want to see what your advice is to your younger self, knowing everything that you've learned now. Ola, you can start, and then we can go to Ayu.
All right. Younger version of myself. uh, Maybe I would have told myself to be maybe more bold, be more courageous. I mean, to be very honest and to be very simple, I have seen people who claim to to know certain things, and I'm like, nah, nah. I mean, just because you are probably more, outspoken and you're everywhere doesn't necessarily mean you know. But I mean, if with the little that I know, I mean, I'm like, I'm not trying to, I mean, I'm not comparing myself with, this comparisons on white, but in just the light of how maybe cocky or how proud or how they think that, and maybe someone is wants to pick, maybe learning to speak up more. So those are the things I think I would probably tell my younger self that, do take more risk and heal quickly. And yeah, those are just the little things I have to say.
Good advice, definitely good advice. And Ayu, what about you?
I think it's just one thing my dad used to say, which I just said like, okay, he's just saying it because it's my parent, but he used to tell me like, anything like if I put my mind to anything, I can actually do it. Like I can do it if I put my mind to it, I can actually do it. And as I keep going up, I can actually see what they were saying. I cannot see it, and maybe I'll have just told myself to like anything I actually just commit myself to. Okay, you can do it. You can do it. Although like I said, I still believe in like everything working out for my good, but at the same time, like there are certain things I think I've not permitted my for myself because of fear. So or because I just felt like it was too difficult for me. So I think I would just remind tell my younger self that if I commit my mind to something, I can do it.
Thank you. And
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sorry for your loss, both of you. I know it's really hard to lose a loved one. Um,
Thank you.
and it seems like you
Thank
guys are
you.
both holding on that memory of them and what he taught y'all. So that's great. That you guys are holding on that piece of him with you.
Thank you.
So yes, thank you guys so much for joining us and sharing your story.
We are hoping to your initiative and trying to help and trying to encourage and trying to, share from our very experience such that people can also come into and, pick up one or two lessons from it too and become better.
Awesome. That's my pleasure. I really hope that this spreads across and everybody can see and hear your story. Thank you guys again, and we'll
Yeah,
stay in
thank
Yeah.
touch.